It's good to have you on another interesting edition of our current affairs program, Issues of the Moment. Issues of the Moment is coming to you from the stable of Living TV Aba, which is in southeast Nigeria. Our conversation today will be centered on the internal leadership crisis rocking the APGA State chapter of All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA. My guest is the factional chairman of that very party, Prince Nana Ukebu. First and foremost, Prince Ukebu is a lawyer. Welcome to the program, Ukebu.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, I also have in the studio my professional colleague, Chinedum Adele. Chinedum Adele, it's good to have you on the program.
Viewers, welcome, and a guest, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Ukebu, I address you as a factional chairman of APGA because the Reverend Augustine Ehemere is also laying claim to that very position. What is the true situation?
Thank you, Mr. Presenter. First and foremost, before I delve into the question you've just asked, I want to elicit some answers from you first. Do you, in all honesty, believe in the rule of law?
I'm the one to ask the questions.
No, I'm asking you. The answer will determine the response you are going to get.
Okay.
Do you believe in the rule of law?
Yes.
And you believe in the supremacy of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Yes.
If that be the case, then it's a bit ironical that you are addressing me as a factional chairman. We're in a democracy. In as much as we are still suffering from the hangover of years of military rule, but currently we're in a democracy. Democracy is anchored on the rule of law. What is the rule of law? Law over individual selfish interests. The rule of law is anchored on the our legal judicial system. Once a court of competent jurisdiction makes a pronouncement, it's not only binding on all the parties, it becomes law. Nobody can say, I don't, even where you disagree with such legal pronouncement, you are enjoined to obey that pronouncement. And the law recognizes that human beings being fallible are prone to making mistakes. That's the reason the law provided for other levels of judicial adjudication, where any party who may be further aggrieved can pursue and vent his frustration further by going further to challenge the decisions that has been pronounced. But what the law does not permit is a resort to self-help, to say, I don't agree, I'd rather kill somebody or maim another. You are enjoined to obey that pronouncement and challenge it further if you so wish. As of today, you mentioned one Augustine Ehemere. It is his right to disagree with the legal pronouncement. But what he cannot do is to refuse to obey that pronouncement. He must either willingly or be compelled to obey the pronouncement of the court. And as of today, the court has pronounced me as the authentic chairman, state chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, Abia State chapter. No ranting. Nothing from anybody can alter that, except if subsequently that pronouncement is set aside. So long as that pronouncement stands, addressing me as a factional state chairman means that you are in the same boat with Augustine Yemere. You are among those who are still finding it difficult to comprehend how democracy works. Augustine Yemere is history. As of now, I'm not saying I'm not God, I'm not saying it cannot change. But as of today, I'm the state chairman of APGA. 100 Augustine Yemere cannot alter that. So that is the law, and that is the current position. And we've gone ahead to receive other acknowledgements. We've gone ahead. The other day, the police in the state and the court jointly, other arms of the justice system, went ahead to enforce that judgment and yielded the party secretariat to me. So where is the faction, or where is the factioner in it? I've been recognized by all relevant institutions of government. Anybody still disagreeing with that position is on his own.
Okay, Chris Nanoke, I want to thank you for that wonderful explanation, and that's exactly what I need. You have explained that you are the authentic chairman of APGA, and that is accepted. Go ahead and ask the next question.
Sir, it is also a known fact that almost every political party is enmeshed, in one form of crisis or another. But it does appear that that of the APGA is the hardest hit. Why is it so?
I beg to, Mr. President, I beg to really disagree. If there is a crisis in APGA, as far as I'm concerned, it's the least when you compare other political parties. Take, for instance, the People's Democratic Party in Abia State. The PDP is split more than half in Abia State. And their issue goes directly to the core. When I say the core, a challenge to their candidates. That is not the case with APGA. Look at the APC. APC has multiple cases in court over their leadership and over their candidates. In APGA, the only challenge we have only centers on the gubernatorial, who flies the
party's flag
for the gubernatorial election. There's no squabble in any other place. The issue of the state leadership of the party has been sorted out. The court has made pronouncement. Anybody who feels further aggrieved knows what other avenues to pursue. So to say that ours appears to be the most entrenched and others, I mean, that's a bit pandering to sensationalism. Of all the political parties in Abia State having issue, APGA's own is just child's play. Because any party that does not have any sort of disagreement, that party is not a moving party.
It should be from heaven.
Not just being the disagreement is part of democracy.
Yes.
Once you see a party devoid of all rancor, knows that that party cannot be said to be viable. People only struggle over what they perceive to be working. Look at, there are over 20 political parties, but you can only see that the wranglings we have centers around just about 3. Those are the 3 that people expect that will have a chance of forming the next government in Abia State. But among the three, ours is the least explosive. We've sorted the leadership aspect of our problem. That is done and dusted. The court has made pronouncement. The judgment has been enforced. But human beings will always agitate. Agitation is part of human existence. So that is what we are seeing.
You talked about the other Ministry of Justice ensuring that you take over the office of APGA. Is there any other state office outside the one you occupy now in Abia State?
There's none. That is why I said there can't be faction. You don't have two secretariats of APGA in Abia State, unlike the other political APs also. We only have one secretariat in Abia State, which is at 128 Agui-Ironsi Leatomwaya, which I am firmly in. Just the other day, the court reaffirmed and preserved my right and authority to preside and run the affairs of the party from our state secretariat. I can show you the order. Just 2 days ago.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. During the course of this very interview a few minutes ago, you said that there is no leadership crisis in Abia State chapter of APGA. Where the problem lies is who will fly the party's flag in next year's Abia governorship election. Now, based on that statement, are you saying that Professor Greg Ibe is not the authentic gubernatorial candidate of Abia State chapter of APGA? Is that the implication?
No. I think you are taking what I said out of context, or you misunderstood what I mean. I said I was answering a question.
Okay.
And I said in all the political parties, APGA is the least affected by crisis. We've nominated over 35 candidates for the election. It's only one that there is a legal challenge. Those are matters for the court to decide one way or the other. I don't work in the judiciary. I'm not a judicial officer. Once a matter is in court, you can't overlook it one way or the other, because the court can make pronouncement whichever way they feel justified based on what the law says. So I said I'm not questioning anybody's candidate. I'm saying the only issue we have as pertaining our nominated candidate is that of the governorship, which is pending at the Federal High Court in Umuahia. The court can decide one way or the other. That's the point I made.
Okay, the court can decide who becomes the gubernatorial candidate of your party.
One way or the other.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Though you've refuted the idea about the crisis in your political party, APGA, but has it occurred to you that with the continuous trouble with the factional chairman per se for now, a Yemen, that it will affect APGA seriously come 2023 gubernatorial election?
That may have been, or that may be the case if, assuming that APGA is the only party immersed in crisis. Like I said, every other party has their issue. What APGA may lose by them fighting, other political parties will also suffer similar fate. So that neutralizes the issue. APGA, if you must know, is not just a political party, it's a movement. APGA may not be the biggest party in Abia State, but APGA has the largest following among the masses. That is why we keep on winning election. Over and over again, APGA keep on, and APGA will win. APGA will win and form the next government in Abia State. Yeah, you know, the problem we have in Nigeria, unlike what is obtainable in developed countries, is the absence of polling. In American election, or they just concluded conservative party leadership struggle. even before the vote are cast, they already have a fair idea of who will win.
They will project.
Because
projection.
They engage in polling. They ask people before the election their views on different candidates and who they are likely to support. At the end of the day, they can extrapolate the views and accurately predict who is going to emerge victorious. That was even before the Conservatives started casting their vote. Everybody knew that Liz Truss is going to be the next Prime Minister. And it was in tandem with the vote. But in Nigeria, and which is one of the reasons why people keep on manipulating the vote, we have a complete and absent polling. But if you care to conduct even an informal poll in APGA State, you will find out that APGA is head and shoulder above everyone, including those in power. APGA is the People's Party. That is how it is. So as of today, if the polls are conducted today, APGA will win. Even if we bring out a goat. If we nominate a goat, APGA will win. That is how it is.
Okay, and I pray that you don't nominate a goat. So, Mr. Chairman, as we speak, the court has not decided who will be a Aguba candidate. So, with this in mind, how are you sure that your candidate, who will eventually emerge through the law court, will occupy government house on Maya? How are you sure?
I've just explained why I'm sure. I've said it, we may not be the largest political party in terms of membership in APGA State, but we enjoy the largest following in the state. That is why when you go back and see the performance of the party in the past, when the electoral system was a bit murky, you will find out that APGA has always come up on top. Now that things in Nigeria appears to be going through some reasonable and sensible reforms, we are confident.
As a result of the Electoral Act.
All those amendments and innovations. We are not sure that those shenanigans that used to play out in past election may be absent, and that will work in favor of a party that is mass oriented. Look at look at the candidates that are look at those that are in court slugging it out. Of all our 4 candidates that are in court,
who are your 4 candidates?
The 4 candidates in court.
Yes.
You have Professor Greg Ibe. You have Chief Chigwe Udensi. You have Etigwe.
Okay, from Ohafia.
From Ohafia, who is a senior advocate. And you have Major General Idioma. Compare them to what the other parties are offering at the state. You see that either any of them can easily dismantle any candidate of the opposition. That is why whoever emerges, APGA is on a cruise control. Okay. The 4 personalities will beat any candidate being presented by the other political parties.
Okay, sir. All the candidates of your party emerged during the tenure of Reverend Hemre, the factional chairman, so to say. Are you going to recognize all of them? Since you were not there during the primaries and then they came through him, are you going to recognize all of them as your candidates?
You know, there are issues that are... I don't really know how to translate the Igbo aspect of what I'm about to say into English. But there are issues that I should say it in English.
Yes, go ahead.
No. But there are issues we don't trash out in public. Those are issues that are for the internal working of the party.
Okay.
We are trying to reconcile all those issues. The most important thing of which a political party exists is winning election. Anything, any issue that may impede that goal ought to be jettisoned. That is why I said the court has made pronouncement. There's no other way around the issue that the court has spoken. Accept the court pronouncement so that these distractions will end. Because if you continue, anything, let me say it bluntly, anything Ehemere, the so-called Reverend Augustine Ehemere, anything from the 7th day of April, anything done by this party without my imprimatur would not fly. Okay. That's the position. You can run it through any lawyer. My authority was reinforced on the 7th day of April 2022. Okay. That's when Onaprago, no, that's my other name.
I know.
That's when Onaprago came back. Officially, anything, any document that is not signed by me is not valid before the law. But we are willing, for the interest of the party, to shut our eyes to some of these anomalies so that we can make progress. Except where others makes it impossible. That is when we will start to flex muscles and to interpret the law and the consequences of the law.
Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Presenter. Since 1999, 2000, and so on, your name was a serious household name in APGA. At what point did this crisis and factional leadership of the party started?
APGA was formed in June 2002, alongside the national leadership of the party, headed by Chief Chepas Okore, a brother and a friend, and with our eternal leader, Dean Chukwuemeka Odumegwu. We were all around. We nurtured this party when nothing was in APGA.
Yes.
People, there is this misconception that I've been chairman forever. That has not been the case. Because all those while I was not a chairman. But I was central to the party. I was the unofficial leader of this party all this while. Everybody who became chairman before me had all come through me. Let's say I was the general overseer of APGA in Abia State. We nurtured the party when there was nothing in APGA. In those days, we used to contribute money to host our meetings, to buy kola nut and angara. We used to contribute money to charter vehicle if we are going on official assignment. No, APGA wasn't seen as viable. There was no squabble then. Like I keep on telling you, when a party is not viable, you will see crisis.
Squabbles.
Nobody will come to challenge you because you are spending your money. It is only when it becomes viable and people see that those who are in politics for their pocket sees that the party has become a business venture. That is when they come up from all their nooks and crannies and try to challenge you. It wasn't until 2014 when the party for the first time raised 46 million naira. That was when the crisis started.
Abia State chapter of the party raised 46 million naira.
The ones that are documented.
Okay.
The ones that were in the party's coffer. Just like in Nigeria, when you see 50 million in account of government parastatal, there may be 200 million in people's pocket. The ones that were, I can show you the bank statement of account. The ones that were in the bank account was 46 million and subtraction. That was when the crisis started. People realized that, people suddenly realized that Onaprago may not be willing to do business. And the engineer crisis. I think the other day I was on a live interview with a radio station in Omuale, and they asked me to be civil. I find it very, very difficult to be civil when it borders on criminality. If somebody steals, I'll call the person a thief. No matter the arena that I am, there's no civility when it comes to criminality. If a person steals, is he not a thief?
When the court of competent jurisdiction has not said so.
When there are prima facie evidence against the person is a thief. What I can do for any station that I appear before is to donate an indemnity deed to you, so that whatever is said over here, I'll be held responsible. But you cannot ask me to be civil over a thief. If an ordinary thief is caught stealing 500 naira loaf of bread, and about people are chasing him and beating him down, nobody comes around to say be civil to that thief. But when it is we, the big men, when it is we, the white collar thieves, that rob with our pen, when we steal and you call the person a thief, they say be civil, be civil. That is why in our society we keep on moving from bad to worse. They brought in one thief and said he's the acting chairman of APGA. Prince Ukebu can't do business. Prince Ukebu is strict. We went to court and challenged that assertion. The court met an order said, and restrain the party and that thief. Let me not call his name. I don't think I've
no, please don't.
I've donated an indemnity agreement to you people.
No, please don't.
I shouldn't.
No.
There is no opinion of yours that has anything to do with the living team. It's entirely
Yes.
It's mine. I'm saying it on air. I should be. It doesn't concern. I should be personally responsible for what I said. And I have my. As a fact, the person can go to court and sue. Obili did it the other day, and the Supreme Court awarded 10 billion to him. Where would the person who cast aspersion on Obili go? Where would he get 10 billion to pay Obili? Meaning that that person is taken out of circulation. If I impugn you, rather than asking me to be civil, the person should drag me to court and sue me and sue the hell out of me. That's how it should be in a society that shuns criminality and thievery. They brought him. We went to court. The court said, the court restrained him. But because he was a thief, and he's still a thief, he went ahead. The 46 million and the money that were counted, though, you know, there are counted and uncountable money. The ones that were counted was in the account. What did he do? He turned our party account into a personal account. Got an ATM card. I'm sure you were a party chairman once.
Yes,
there are rules regulating the management of the finance of a political party. Every party account must have 3 signatories: the chairman, the secretary, and the treasurer. That's what APGA Constitution says. And for each withdrawal, 2 signatures. The chairman is A, the way our account operates. The secretary and the treasurer is B signatories. For every withdrawal made from the account, signature A and B must, or B or C. Before, what did he do? For the first time, I don't think it has happened thereafter in any political party. He applied to a bank, Fidelity Bank for that matter, got the bank to issue an ATM card in his name. Do you know what that means? That he can vend cash from our account at any point without consulting anybody. Can I give you a copy of the account so that you go through? For you to appreciate why APGA's problem has continued up till now. It has nothing to do with principle or issues. It's about stealing and the attempt to cover past misdeed. He got an ATM card. If the wife wants to go to market And by that ATM card, they also made it possible for him to transfer money.
Okay,
Let me call.
excuse me.
You ask the question.
Yes, excuse me.
Not for the answer.
No, you will continue. No, you will continue after the break. And let me reinforce what the chairman of APGA State chapter of APGA has said. Whatever he says here, he is entirely responsible. And this is not the opinion of Living TV. At this point, we are going to take a short break. And today, our guest is the APGA State chairman of APGA, Prince Nana Ukebu. Stay tuned.
Heaven and earth will pass away. It is written in the book of God. The good people will surely find their ways, and the meek will inherit the world. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't fall. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yes. We want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. One more time. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Let's save Nigeria. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Ooh, yeah. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Which way Nigeria is heading to. One more time. Which way Nigeria is heading to. Amen.
Welcome back to the program. You are still watching Issues of the Moment. Today's is very explosive because we have the APGA State chairman of APGA, Prince Nana Ukebu, as our guest. I also like to inform you that as from this moment, we are going to open our telephone line so that you can participate in this very interesting discussion. You can get us on 09168284994. 09168284994. Now, Mr. Chairman, before we went on that short break, you were talking about the genesis of the crisis that has continued to engulf your party. Can you continue from where you stopped? And please don't mention anybody's name. You can continue. You have the floor.
It's so unfortunate. While we were growing up, our society was a bit different from what is obtainable now. In those days, there is public shaming of thieves. There were public shaming of those whose means of livelihood were not as attainable.
Yes.
These days, you've asked me not to call them, so that the thief will continue to operate unhindered. That is what, technically speaking, it means we are all encouraging stealing of public funds. Because we are afraid of.
Ours is a media house.
That is what I'm saying. We are afraid of shaming them. You would have been more open and interested in finding out who this villain is, so that will also help our party to put our house in order. If thieves are running our party, shouldn't Abia State people be made to know that APGA has become a den of thieves? Should the people of Abia State not have that information so that they will know whether they will surrender our commonwealth to our party? That is what we are fighting, to sanitize the party.
You've taken over to sanitize.
That is exactly what. But the thieves are there still fighting, because the people are kept in the dark. You people, during the time of Delegiwa and Co., there was what they call investigative journalism.
That's it.
Where journalists on their own, without anybody's prompting, exposes violence, crime and criminality in the society.
After this interview with you, we'll embark on that.
Yeah, but these days, all those things are absent. This guy had the temerity of opening, of applying for ATM card over party account. And from there, to service his personal interest. You see the name of his wife on different occasions, drawing money, 200,000 from the party account. You see the names of girls that has nothing to do with our party being paid money from. You see properties being bought from our party account that has nothing to do with the party. Acquiring movable and immovable properties from party funds. Do you believe that such things is possible? You asked me for the genesis of the party, the genesis of the crisis in the party. This is the genesis.
Okay.
He plundered the 46 million, the countable ones. So, you know, in party politics, there are monies that come in left and right. Some are not even documented. Yeah. These were money that were already domiciled in the party account. He plundered everything on his personal project and aggrandizement. Because he did that, he wanted to make sure that Prince Ukebu does not return. Because for Prince Ukebu to come, everybody knows where I stand. I've always had this crusade with every government in Abia State. It has not, my fight did not commence with APGA. I fought every government in Abia State that I deemed corrupt. I've tried to make them account. I was the first person who wrote, when we discovered that the governors were pilfering the local government account, I wrote a petition to Obasanjo. I accused the then governor, Joe Zokano, of masterminding the stealing of local government funds. I went to court, Upper High Court, to challenge him. The constitutionality of his, these were in 2003. The constitutionality of stealing local government funds. Obasanjo then sent a bill to the National Assembly. And the National Assembly enacted a law requiring the state to file monthly account of local government, the expenditures of local government across the country. Our own governor went to court and challenged the constitutionality of that law, and the Supreme Court struck it down. That is why the problem in local government has continued up to now. The point I'm making is that my fight against corruption did not start with APGA. It didn't start with me being chairman or not being. When I was doing all this, I was not chairman. I further wrote petition against Ojo Zakalo, provided information to certain things that were not in the public domain, because I believe that we should separate the state from individual pocket. It has has nothing to do with APGA. So when this man, after plundering the resources of the state, against the orders of the court, barring him, restraining him from so doing, in total defiance of a court of competent jurisdiction, I can show you. These are all documentary.
Okay.
Let me come. I want to trace let me shorten it. Because I see that you are comfortable with the truth. So let me shorten it so that we can gloss over and allow those who are stealing to continue to steal. That's the society we want to live for our kids. A society of impunity. A society where an individual can corner the commonwealth. You see a pauper coming into office today, tomorrow he's the richest man.
That's it.
And we applaud him with chieftaincy title. That's the society you people want. So let me shorten it so that we can continue with our violence and evil. We go to church and we pray and we expect God to answer our prayer. God cannot be fooled. He's not a man that can be deceived. You will accumulate all this wealth and you will leave it one day and go. And those that come after you will fritter them away. That is the benefit. That is what will befall every person that causes hardship for others by stealing the wealth that should have ameliorated their sufferings. So when this guy, after doing this thing, of course we were still in court. He looked around. He said, you know, it takes more than a thief to plunder a community. So they looked around. He had accomplices. They looked around, they said, no matter what, Onaprago cannot be allowed to return. Who do they choose? A fellow thief. A fellow thief. Thieves, what I call thieves of the same feather. You know, they flock together. That's why you see the emergence of Reverend Augustine Yemere. When in spite of being their candidate, in spite of being the candidate of the cabal of thieves, when he came, he was shocked by what he discovered. He was amazingly shocked. Maybe then he was learning their trade. He petitioned EFCC. The EFCC immediately came and grabbed this individual. This individual is still in the party, occupying the second most important position in APGA at the national level. And you say I shouldn't name him. He's still there, stealing and plundering the resources of the party. EFCC arrested him, concluded their investigation. That was how we got the document. You can't just walk into a bank and get an account that you are not signatory to. We got it from EFCC. They concluded their investigation. Set a date to arraign him in court. Those who believe that the shame of an individual belongs to his family. Those who say that if you arraign a deputy national chairman in court, you've arraigned the party. Even my very good friend, Chief Chiku Densi, got involved and used his connections. Remember, this petition was not written by Prince Ukebu. It was written by Augustine Ehiemere. They let him go. He quickly ran to Ehiemere. Maybe gave him part of the loot. They made peace. And I tried to use him to stop me. But my hands were made strong by the hand of the Almighty. Today, the same Ehiemere has gone back to continue where this guy stopped. I'll show you a petition written by his own executive. You will, 19 of them. We have 26 executives in the state. 1921 wrote and signed with their phone number. I'll drop a copy with you. Should I drop it here?
Yes, if you can.
Where they wrote in minute detail tabling it one after the other. He has taken, in a space of a month and 2 weeks, has taken the sum of 56,470,000.
That belongs to the party.
That belongs to the, you won't see my, it is his executive, his deputy, financial secretary, treasurer, auditor, all of them, they signed the petition. They gave me a copy and swore me to an oath to recover that money. That is why APGA crisis has persisted. It has nothing with who is going to be the chairman or who is going to lead the party to victory. It's about covering past misdeed. It's about covering stealing, monumental plundering. That is what this crisis is all about. I don't take it from me. For everything I say, I will support with a document. Documents that are not made by me. So no matter how the court ruled, go and challenge it. They say, we will not challenge again. We will not. What we know is that Prince Ukebo can never come back. Can never come back to do what? Expose them. Just on Wednesday, the court ruled again, asking them to leave me alone. Just this, on the 14th day of September, 2 days ago, because leave me alone. They said, yesterday I went to the party office. I didn't know at the entrance there were people with machete and gun waiting for me. Just yesterday, I went to conduct a party meeting. I called the commissioner of police and I've sent a letter to go and flush the bastard. Well, edit out that aspect. To go and flush out the hoodlums from the gate, from the entrance to my office. I can give you I've just sent a letter to her. Go and flush them out. It's your duty. Our politics of all the federation, of all the eastern states, we may not rate so high among all this, but in area of civility in politics, in area of bloodless election, Abia State comes top. There's no state it's only in Abia State that election will come and go. You won't record one incident of killing.
Yes.
Oh, go to Ebonyi State, ordinary council election, they will slaughter people. That is absent in Abia State. And APGA should not be the inroad to introduce this dangerous politics into the state. Imagine going to do my regular business and there are people with machetes and the gun waiting for me at the gate. If not that I have sent advance parties, I may have been confronted by them. So I quickly wrote to the commissioner of police to do her duties. Whether they enjoy support from her or not, I'll find out with this development. So that's the problem.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, we're grateful having you enlighten Abias about the present situation in your political party, APGA. Well, the Cuba candidate of your party, the most known for now, we don't know about those who are in court.
The Cuba candidate as of today is Professor Greg Ibe.
Right, good. Professor Greg Ibe opened his campaign office yesterday in Aba.
Yes.
And you were not there in the event.
How would you know? Well, did you cover the event?
Our reporters were there.
Eh?
And, as the authentic chairman of the party.
Yes.
You were supposed to be very conspicuous.
We had a meeting
early
in the morning in Umuahia where we are going to organize ourselves. And I said, when I got to Umuahia, a scheduled meeting, I didn't know that my office has been turned into a war zone.
Okay.
I had to rush to intimate the security agencies to intervene. So you wouldn't expect me, in view of that, to abandon a highly volatile development.
A man whose house is on fire cannot just rant.
Okay.
Yes.
I can show you a letter I sent to the commissioner yesterday, asking him or her. Well, in law, we don't have her. That's why I keep on mixing up the in law, it's always he. So we ask her to swing into action and arrest the hoodlums stationed in my office. So we are yet to get feedback. We've sent somebody there as we speak this morning to verify from her the steps she has taken, to know whether we are going to take the matter further up. It is condemnable. Yeah. Normally, the chief security officer of the state happens to be the governor. But the governor is of the PDP stock. If you got him involved now, normally, if it were in a society where things work, you complain to him. It is his duty to maintain law and order. You complain to him, but if you do that, they will say,
he's taking side.
He's taking side and you are working for him. But he should be in the know. And the way we play politics also makes it difficult to complain. We don't see him as being neutral in issues. He's always seen not as the governor of Abia State, but as the governor of the People's Democratic Party. He is the person I should first and foremost complain. The commissioner ought to be under him. He should be the person issuing directive to the commissioner of police to say, go and sort these things out. We don't do politics of violence. It has never happened before. We can disagree. We can fling insults on each other. But we have never resorted to arms.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for that explanation. And our prayer is that Abia will remain peaceful. Now, we are coming to the end of this very program, but you are aware that we are approaching another election year, 2023. So, what kind of leadership should we expect next year when you consider the challenges facing Abia? What type of leadership?
Without hearing your question, Mr. Presenter and my brother, I've already answered that question. The Commonwealth should be separate from individual business ventures. That is the bane of our society, from the center to the grassroots. We tend to mix up these things. We tend to see politics as business venture.
Exactly.
That is why we never get anything done. And the problem in our society is not just of the leadership. I indict the followership more. Somebody comes up with his sweet talks. Vote for me, vote for me. Nobody bothered to find out that person's means of livelihood, what that person has done in the past. We'll sing and we'll queue up behind the person. Tomorrow we'll start to cry. Like I said, before the followership could be excused, then election were not determined by the citizens. Now things are changing. We are seeing incumbents being defeated in their states.
Yes.
The masses have been given a voice. They've been given power that hitherto we are not there. This is the time to ask questions. You say you are a doctor. How did you come about your doctorship? You are a millionaire. You are an industrialist. Can we see your industry? You see, we don't keep records. That's the bane of our society and politics. In America or Britain or Europe, from the time you are born, it is easy to unearth everything about your life. If you have smoked weed in your life, they will know. If you are engaged in robbery before now, they will know. Today, the bed of Nigerian politics is that it has been hijacked by what I can call the underworld. They tend to do better. You can't be... Check out my ordeal in APGA. When APGA had nobody questioned my authority. When we were there laboring to build a party, I did no wrong. But the moment money started trickling in, the same evil forces that you see in all strata of our society, both in our churches, both in politics, in everywhere, they're already there. The dark cabal, they came together and hijacked the party. So what I'm saying, anybody presenting himself for leadership position should be really examined by the masses. And that can only be possible if you people in the media do your work. The masses may not have the tools to verify individual backgrounds. That is why I get upset when you say I shouldn't call names. I shouldn't call names. What I expect you to say, donate an indemnity agreement to us. When I do publishing with Sun newspaper or Vanguard, they will have, first and foremost, you will sign an indemnity for them. In case whatever you say impugn some other person, so that the legal liability will be solely on your head. That's what I expect. And I'll go ahead and name names. Those whose business is plundering our commonwealth, they should be exposed. People should know them. If APGA is harboring those individuals, the only way you can make APGA to purge them is when they expose. APGA will either choose the masses or those individuals. Those people are in APGA, from our national to the state. The person I'm mentioning is in the national. Ehemere is here. I challenge Ehemere to public debate. Let him say, all the while I was in control of APGA, whether one kobo was attributed as being stolen under me. His own deputy. 19 executives. All right. Atomizing 56 million that is stole.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I don't want us to exceed the duration of this very program. So, Chinedu, I would like you to answer the last question.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman. The APGA State clocked 31 years recently, and it was created. We also know that APGA was created in 1991. What is your assessment of this 31 years after?
You cannot assess APGA State in isolation. Within the last 31 years, has there been any progress in Nigeria? Can you honestly stand up and say Nigeria had moved forward in the past 31 years? When you single APGA State, then you get it all wrong. There's a general system collapse. Our inability to understand that governance is service and not about self-enrichment. Until we come to that realization, this question can only be meant for me to castigate those in power in other states. I'm saying generally, the system has collapsed. Nothing is working. Most people that are in government are our friends or acquaintances or people we know. We can say without equivocation that few months before they entered into government that they were begging for food. They were begging for taxi money. But today, they can't even pick your calls. The big men of Nigerian politics.
That's true.
The society in Nigeria has collapsed. It has not anything to do with nothing is working in the entire country, APGA State inclusive. Nothing is because of general system failure. Our inability to understand that anytime you take money that does not belong to you, that it is stealing. We fail to call stealing by its name. We call it embezzlement. The market woman in Ariara market does not understand what embezzlement means. If you accuse somebody of embezzlement, it does not have any.
It's like a guy name.
A guy name. Call him that was what Jonathan said, and people castigated him. Stealing is not corruption. People didn't understand what Jonathan meant. Stealing is stealing. Stealing. Ohi is ohi. That is the name we know it in Igbo land. If you call somebody Ohi, you have tempted him and his family. If you say somebody has embezzled money, the old man in the village does not understand the point you are making.
I think it's the person's English name.
Yeah. So let's call thief by the name that we know and understand it.
Okay.
Governance is stealing.
Okay.
It's not about public welfare. And until we put these people right from our political parties, the political parties form government. And in Abia State, we are saying, look at APGA, look at APGA, look at the leadership of APGA. A person that is giving 56 million and he stole the whole 56 million, what would that person do if we venture into government? And you people are laughing over it. You people say it's politics. I expect you to say, give me evidence. And you take the fight from me. If the party refuses to purge the person, you should be the person. You should be the authority. Clamoring for people not to give power to APGA. That is what we are saying. It has nothing to do with intra-party fighting. A thief should be known by his name, which is thief, stealing.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you for coming to talk to us. It has been very, very explosive. And you have revealed so many things concerning your party, although it's not peculiar to APGA. It is a national problem. For the past 15 minutes, we have been speaking with Prince Nnamdi Kanu, who happens to be the Abia State Chairman of All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. Mr. Chairman, thank you for coming.
Thank you, as always.
I also want to thank my colleague who joined me in interviewing him today, Chinedum Adele. Thank you for being part of today's edition of our program.
Thank you, Mr. Man.
Bro, I salute.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Chimezie Ozem. This is where we draw the curtain on today's edition of Issues of the Moment. Join us next Tuesday for another interesting package. Have a great weekend.